Welcome back to another session of Self-Care for Healers online masterclass series. I'm your host, Peter Van Twyver, and it is my privilege to introduce Lois Hermann. Lois is a catalyst for positive change. She is a seasoned spiritual and metaphysical teacher, a success coach, and board-certified clinical hypnotist, specializing in mind, body, spirit approach to achieve balance in all areas of life. With decades of healing modality experience, Lois is an energy clearing and alignment master, a Reiki master teacher, hypnosis instructor, EFT practitioner, and NLP trainer. Retired from a 40-year medical career as a pioneer in diagnostic ultrasound, she has vast experience in international corporate education, director-level leadership, and holds patents for system design. Based on what she has learned to transform her life, Lois enjoys coaching people to embrace change, release limiting patterns, maintain positive energy, and to be the best that they can be. Lois, it's a privilege and welcome. Thank you for being part of our journey.
Thank you, Peter, for having me. I'm privileged and honored to be here, and I'm so impressed with the work you're doing to pull this summit together. So thank you for doing the work you're doing.
Thank you so much. So I know that you have an information-packed presentation for us. How would you like to begin?
So I do. I have an amazing PowerPoint presentation. I come from that corporate background, so I love teaching with visual and auditory tools so that you're not just listening to a talking head. I want to give you visuals, and you will also get some handouts. And I'll show you in the presentation where you can get the handouts. I want to start with helping you, teaching you an exercise that I do every day to establish sacred space. This is really critical. So if everyone who is not driving would please close your eyes and focus on your breathing just for a moment. Just check out, check in, tap into that inner glowing light that's in your solar plexus. It's usually in your solar plexus. It's a glowing yellow goldish ball of light. Visualize that ball of light glowing bigger, brighter, bolder until it fills your entire being, until it glows into the space you're in. And then pull it in around you like a protective shell or shield. So that's your own sacred space. Imagine a protective bubble on the outside of this with a shiny mirror coating that will deflect any negative energy. It actually transforms it and sends it back as positive. And now I'd like you to imagine standing in your space. Imagine your space with 4 columns or pillars of light, north, south, east, and west. You can start with, it could be your room, it could be your office, it could be your whole building or your land, your property, your house. But establish 4 beautiful columns deep into Mother Earth, reaching far up to Father Sky. Excuse me. And now I like to add 4 additional columns so that you're standing in a perfect octagon of light. And imagine walls of light connecting all of these 8 pillars with a foundation of light underneath and a dome of light over top. And in this space, I want you now to call on Mother Gaia, Mother Nature, that beautiful, loving mother that gives us everything. And imagine warm liquid coming up through your feet from her, liquid energy just coming up from her, filling your body with beautiful, warm, loving light. And as you do that, I'd like you to imagine coming down from the universal energy, divine source, Father Sky, beautiful white light coming through your crown chakra and just filling your whole being with that beautiful light from above and the beautiful red light from underneath, so that you're swirling in this divine pink light of love. And with this, let's set our intention. Let's call in our guides for the day. You can call upon anyone whom you wish. I tend to call my archangel friends, Archangels Michael, Samael, Raphael, Gabriel, Jophiel, Azrael, and anyone, Shamuel, Uriel, Ariel, there's so many. Call on them, Archangel Metatron. And I also love, love, love to invite Jesus, my dear friend and brother, my teacher, Mother Mary, Lady Nada, Kwan Yin, whomever you wish in your heart to be in your sacred circle with you, thanking them, setting the intention that this day is meant for the highest good of all. On the outside of that dome, now that you have your sacred space, place a shiny mirror coating on the outside, and let's invite Saint Germain to place his violet flame around you so that you can be in stealth mode, so that you're protected from any negative interference. And with that, we can start our day. I do this every morning before I open my eyes, setting my intention, setting my sacred space for the day, and having my divine guide. Sometimes I get messages from them in that quiet space. It doesn't take but a few minutes. If you just set your intention for the day, all of you healers, caregivers, you need to keep yourself healthy and energized and protected on this journey. We need you. So this is this PowerPoint presentation is all about caring for you. And may I share my screen?
Please.
And I'm going to start. And we're going to start from the beginning. So this is called Care for the Caregiver. And that is you, me, all of us who are healers, who are caring for other people, caring for ourselves, and caring for our beautiful planet. And we need to also take time to care for us. You can reach me at Lois at loishermann.com. So this whole presentation is about healing for us healers, because there is a vibrational frequency. We are all vibrating at a certain level of frequency. There's a lot of negative energy, and we are in a healing crisis on our planet right now. Many of you feel it. Most of you are empaths of some sort, and you're feeling all of this negative energy. And what happens is we then have a stress response to the negative energy, and we need to learn ways to heal. We've got to do self-care. I have instructions for you, the sacred bubble, the sacred space, all of them are on cards that you can download at this bit.ly site, bit.ly LH, capital LH info cards. It is case sensitive. So you can download, I have a bunch of information there for you to download and use as a gift, as a tool for you to keep on your path of healing. Right now, our planet is in an energy crisis. You guys know this. I don't have to read all of this to you, but you know what's going on in our world today and how it's affecting everyone. We're a year into this COVID crisis, and it's just not getting better. Between everything that different people are feeling, there's so much fear and stress and negative energy out there. And I don't know about you, but I'm kind of concerned with what's going on our planet. And as a result of what's going on in our planet, we now also have a human energy crisis. And that's what you're seeing with your clients, your customers, your patients, is all of these different patterns of manifesting stress. There are so many things that happen to people, and they deal with them in different ways. So as healers, as healing energy facilitators, we need to be able to recognize these in our own selves as well. What can we do to take care of self? Because we as caregivers are affected by all this stuff. When we're around patients or clients that have all this, we pick it up because of our energy. Energy attracts energy. Then we end up being a little bit irritated or moody, or I see a lot of caregivers in my practice. My mission, one of my missions, is to help the caregivers, because we need everybody out there, all hands on deck. So I help to teach people how to keep their energy clear and upbeat so that they can do the work that they're required to do. That's their mission. I get a lot of people who have given up hope. And what we need to do is support one another on this journey. So what can we do? We can be the best that we can be. And we can be catalysts for positive change for ourselves, for our communities, and our world at large. do the best that you can for yourself. It's not selfish. It is self-care. And when we care for the self, then we're more able to be equipped to care for others, because we're vibrational energy. Everything is energy on the macroscopic level. There's universal, galactic, cosmic, even to that microscopic energy. You can look at things under a microscope and you can see particles moving. There is an intelligence, there is an energy, and we vibrate at different frequencies based on what's going on in our world. So Earth is energy. Plants are energy. If you look at a plant leaf under Carillion photography, you will see the energy that's emitted. And for people who think that rocks don't have energy, how many of you hold a crystal in your hand? And when you hold a crystal in your hand, you can feel that energy. There is energy in everything. The Native Americans know this, respect this, and we need to get back to honoring those traditions. And even symbols have energy. There's a lot of symbolism and stuff out there that is not so good. Be aware that there's a lot of negative symbolism that's being bombarded to us. So we have to recognize and know the positive symbols and use them. Many of you who are Reiki 2 practitioners have been given Reiki symbols. Use them. Use them regularly to keep your energy strong. Use them with your clients. Though, use the crystals. Use whatever you can to keep your energy uplifted. Because we as humans are energy. The toroidal field around us, that is the aura that many of us can see, sense, or feel that we have. We are so much bigger than this physical body that we drive through this lifetime. So that is the aura that we see. We're actually picking up and perceiving the toroidal fields around people. And then many of us know about the different chakras, the different energy centers in our bodies, and even to the hands. When we are doing healing energy or therapeutic touch or anything like that, we're using the energy in our hands. So we have to keep all of these energy centers in balance. It's so critical. And we also are magnetic energy. If you look at a human with Carillion photography, it's really interesting. You can see all of these electrical points. So many of you are able to sense this. If you're around somebody who has a negative energy, you feel it, you sense it. And if they come to you as a client or a patient, you sometimes will end up picking up their energy. And what you need to do is be discerning. You can be there to help them, but you don't want to pick up their negative energy. It's kind of like if someone is drowning, you don't jump in with them, you throw them a lifeline. So as much as you're an empath and compassionate, you also need to stay in your sacred space and throw them a lifeline to help you maintain balance, because the more balanced you are, the more you're able to help. Emotions are energy. How many of you have seen this? This is a wonderful chart by one of my favorite books, Power versus Force by Dr. David Hawkins. He used kinesiology to evaluate emotions on a logarithmic scale of 0 to 1,000, with 1,000 being enlightenment or Christ consciousness. The lowest level energy, guilt and shame. Fear is down there pretty low, but when we're feeling guilty, when our clients are feeling guilty, it's low level. When you think about being depressed, people are down, they're low level energy. And if we can help lift them up or lift ourselves up to neutrality, which is courage, it takes courage. So neutrality is 200. Slowly lifting people up. Even anger has an energy to it. Fear is debilitating. And that's what so many people are facing on our planet today, is that level of fear, which is very, very toxic. And those low level energies end up causing dis-ease in our physical being. These are emotions. I'm going to get into how the emotions tie in with our physical body in a moment. But what I want to share is the energy of forgiveness is a very high level energy, because it's not about us. The forgiveness is about giving it away. I no longer wish to carry this burden, this memory with me. The memory of the hurt, of the pain, is something from the past that we're bringing into the present. But the present, this moment, this now moment, is all there is. So when we bring the pain into the into the moment, then we are dragging ourselves down. So when we can forgive it away, then we can elevate our energy to be at peace and reach up to that level of love and peace. And it's so I would encourage you to take a look at his work. It's a pretty intense book. It's a didactic book, but I kind of like that stuff. So water has energy. How many of you heard of Dr. Emoto's water crystal energy experiment? He took water and beakers of water, and among various different things, he would write a word on it or say the word love, love, love to the beaker of water. And then he would look at the crystal, and this is what it would look like. Another beaker, he would say hope, 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 or he would write hope on the beaker. And this is what the water would look like under a electronic microscope. Another beaker, hate. And check out what hate looks like. This is the same water in different beakers with different energy. People have done the same sort of experiments with plants. If you just say hate, hate, hate at a plant, it will die. If you say love, love, love at a plant, it will thrive. Well, guess what? If we do that to each other, if we do that to ourselves, if we look at ourselves in the mirror and say, I hate you. Oh my God, you're so this or that. Guess what that does to us? We're water. Our energy, our beings are water. And we will respond to those words. So it's important that we heal the wounds of our past and send love energy to ourselves and to others. Because we're multidimensional beings. The physical body, this one that we drive through this incarnation, is shed each lifetime. And yet it's our vehicle. And many people take better care of their cars than they do their physical body. Our mental is the intellectual part of our body. This is the one that is learning, constantly learning, and we should. This is the creator. We need to continue to create and to learn and to grow. That mental part of us it comes in this life, and we take parts of that into other lifetimes with us. Have you ever heard of a child that can all just spontaneously play the piano or a violin without being taught? He has brought that mental awareness into this lifetime from a prior time. Then there's the emotional part of us. These are the emotions, as Dr. Hawkins shows. We have this whole range of emotions. And as we feel these emotions, these are part of what we're learning. We're growing through the experience of emotions. And some of these memories from prior lifetimes will get stuck. So many times people will be born and as a child, they have a sadness about them, or they might talk about something that happened to them. So the emotional part of us, we must balance and heal that part of us. We can't just work on the physical and say, okay, I'm done. We have to be working on all parts of us. And there is the spiritual, which is the eternal self. Some people call it the soul, but the spiritual part of ourselves is our eternal being. This is this being that's like this big. This is our real self. The body is the representation that we can physically see. But when you're looking at the aura, you're actually looking at the person's true spiritual being. And we are spiritual beings, and we are here on this planet at this moment in time having a human experience. And many of us who feel that we are here on purpose, our purpose is now being shown to us right now. So this presentation is about self-care for your body, mind, spirit, and life. You need to take care of yourself as you would your baby or your pet. We need to take better care of us than we typically do. So I just talked with you about creating your sacred space. Do this. I encourage you to do this every morning. And that's one of the info cards that you can download, is to create that sacred space, because it keeps you in a protection from negative energies. And I have been dealing with negative energies for 30 something years. So it's this kind of an expertise that I have, and I know how to keep myself healthy. I also know how to ask for help when I've realized that I've picked up an energy. When you're not feeling yourself, what have you done? You've picked up an energy, possibly from someone that you've been with, some old memory that's lowered your level of energy, or from someplace that you've been. So practicing makes permanent, not perfect. This is not about being perfect. It's about getting into a permanent habit. So my journey, my background, as Peter kindly said, my background was 40 years in diagnostics. I started in the mid 70s in ultrasound, and actually had a fabulous career as a pioneer in that field. I was a corporate trainer, international developer, and I've got, as you said, I have patents in my name for developing ultrasound systems. So I absolutely understand the concept of energy vibrational frequency because of my background in ultrasound. And I also became a clinical hypnotist back in 1995, really to help myself and my children, having gone through a really traumatic experience. And during this period of time, I moved into a house with a ghost. And I had to learn how to help this ghost into the light. So this was a very interesting experience. I was trained by a priest into how to deal with these energies, these spiritual energies, and it's been an interesting journey. I then became a spiritual specialist. I had a client that invited me to help clear the energies at an assisted living facility. There were over 300 spirits of the children who used to work in the mills that were killed. And I helped them into the light with the promise of telling their story. I won't go into a lot of that right now, but you can read about it at my website, loishermann.com, or the Spirits of Amaskake has its own website with its own story. So this is their story of these young children who worked in the mills. So I've long had a passion for helping children and helping spirits. So I am now on a mission of hope. About 4 years ago, I had an interesting client who came to me, crazy Einstein looking guy, that was having difficulty sleeping at night. And when he went into trance, now, if you go into trance, Peter, you can talk with your angels, your guides, your grandmother, you have the opportunity, but it's your private journey. It's your private discussion. I'm there as the scribe and the guide, and I help you get the information that you need. Well, when he went into trance, he says, we need your help to save humanity. Humanity is facing the next great apocalypse. If they don't do something to change their ways, you may not have much time left. 6 pages of notes later, he comes out of trance and doesn't remember a flipping thing. I'm thinking, what the heck was that? After 20-something sessions, we have the making of 3 books. I now have the 2 books that are out that are based on messages from what they call the collective. There's the ancient ones, they're children, which we tend to refer to as the archangels. They're children's children, such as Jesus. They're the ones that have actually incarnated Jesus, Lao Tzu. There's Buddha, any number of them that have incarnated. You and I are probably old souls. We've been around this galaxy many times. And then there are angels. Angels, basically what they describe as angels are any being who is willing to help another, be it physical or etheric. They're all willing to help us. The bottom line in these messages that came from this book, and I'm going to be peppering through the messages in this presentation, they are ever willing to assist, but we must ask. They can never interfere with our free will. But have you ever had a child or a friend and you just wish they'd ask you for help or advice? That's what they're like. They're kind of standing around going, I just wish you'd ask. I'm happy to help you, but you have to ask. I can't interfere. So one of the things that I've learned is to ask. So these are the 2 books that are out right now. The Unquietus is the first 11 sessions, with the ancient ones, the first ones, and they tell us how the earth was created, all kinds of fascinating history stories. And then they said, well, let us send our children to give you more in-person information. That was book 2, The Collective, and it's full of absolute valuable information that I'm going to be sharing with you. Book 3, I am working on it a little bit differently. I'm doing it as blogs. The book 3 is The Archangels. So I had several archangels who came to me, and I still communicate with them regularly. You can find out a whole bunch of it about it on chroniclesofhope.net. So they gave us what they call is a roadmap of hope for humanity. We need to get back to honoring our earth, our mother Gaia. You noticed in the exercise that I did, we called on the energy from Mother Gaia. She is our mother. We are part of her. We forget her. We neglect her. We need to call on her energy for healing. We also need to protect our energy, our Mother Earth's energy. We have to care for this body because this is the vehicle that we've chosen in this incarnation. They also encourage us to create. We are master creators. The more we can create whatever gives us joy, the more we're fulfilling our life's mission, our purpose. And that raises our vibrational energy to sustain us. They tell us there is plenty. There is plenty. We must respect one another. We must share not only our physical, but we must share from heart to heart, mind to mind, soul to soul. We must share our energy. And as we share collective energy, we lift and raise the energy collectively for this beautiful planet that we live on. Archangel Michael at one point told me to ask for protection, healing, and empowerment across all levels: physical, mental, emotional, spiritual, psychic, social, professional, financial, environmental, technological, relational, educational, political, and more. That is a prayer that I say every day, just asking. Could you imagine if we were all protected, healed, and empowered on all those levels? What kind of a beautiful planet, what kind of a wonderful world we'd live on? Someday it will be there. So those of us who are caregivers and healers, we're uniquely positioned to assist others. We've got to keep ourselves tuned, our vehicle tuned, because there's important change work at hand. We must support one another. We have to maintain our own balance and stay grounded. Self-care is critical because there is so much need out there. There's so much fear. There's so much going on in our world. We need you to take care of you, and then you can take care of others. There's so much pressure to be more efficient. We have less time. It's about how many can we do? We've got to slow it down. We have challenging clients that really push our buttons. They drain our energy. We end up with spiritual attack because many of us are very sensitive empaths, and it never seems to end. So what can we do? I'm going to give you some step-by-steps. What can we do to shift this? Because we can see when somebody else is stressed, yeah, why do you know? Do you notice I'm stressed? Yeah, we can see it. We can sense it. We can feel it. It affects our physiology. It affects our mental health. It affects our productivity in our life. So I'm going to give you some simple stress busting tools. Because back when I first started in the hospital in the 70s, I'd walk into the radiologist's office and they'd be smoking cigarettes, reading x-rays. We had a smoking room because that was a way of relaxing. Now, cigarettes, as a hypnotist, I happen to know that the nicotine is basically a stimulant, but it's the act of taking a breath. That's what's relaxing. But what happens is we exhaust ourselves with everything going on that we're looking for ways to nurture, because hand to mouth is a need to nurture. Just take a moment and put your hand on your cheeks. Doesn't that feel nice? That's mother touch. That's the need to nurture. This is where all addictive behavior, smoking, drinking, eating, comes from the need to nurture. So being aware that patterns of stress cause us, nail biting, drinking, smoking, all these things cause us to be exhausted, then we are not productive. We end up with burnout. We end up sad, anxious. We end up with poor sleep, appetite, increase or decrease, and unhealthy, depleted energy. It affects us on all levels, and it affects how we help others. When we're drained, we don't have anything to give. We have to keep ourselves energized in order to be in our top shape to help others. And those of us who work with children or have children realize that the children are barometers for our stress. They're under their own kind of stress, but even a baby will feel if mama is stressed, the baby will feel it. The children will have nightmares. There's just so much pressure on these children. And today with this mask stuff, it's horrible what this is doing how this is affecting our youth. We don't even know the long-term ramifications, but there's a lot of pressure on our children, and their pressure then feeds our pressure. Years ago, there was a book called Minding the Body, Mending the Mind by Joan Borsenko, and she had a lot of information about stress. When stress lowers our antibodies, which causes increased sickness. When we're anxious or depressed, we end up with more adrenaline, more cortisol, and we end up burnout. When we're happy and exhilarated, the body is amazing. When we're happy and exhilarated, the body produces interleukin, which boosts our immune system. When we're calm and peaceful, we have stable antibodies and we have less sickness. So what we have to do is do what we can to keep our body, mind, and spirit in that sense of balance. Because when we're relaxed, the body produces endorphins, hormones, and healing chemicals that keeps us energized and healthy. We also have to add the virtual technical stress. This is new for many of us that are, COVID has changed things. I am doing all of my sessions are virtual now, except for when I do Reiki, but my sessions are virtual, which means I have to deal with, I've got to know a little bit more about technology. I have to be able to communicate. We also are dealing with isolation from that physical touch, which humans need physical touch. We're dealing with EMF exposure, and this is also draining the energy. So this is our new normal, being around technology. So what we have to do is find ways to adjust and adapt to this new normal. There are a lot of different tools. I'm going to share some with you along the way. So I've come to believe that caring for myself is not self-indulgent. Caring for myself is an act of survival. Invest in your future. Take time for yourself. So shifting stress. Dear stress, we're going to break up now. So I love this. Handle every stressful situation like a dog. If you can't eat it or play with it, just pee on it and walk away. And you know what? There are people that I have walked away from when they're too much toxic energy. I think I need to back away. And then, of course, those of us who have cats, you know that they can just chill anywhere. They're Zen masters. They teach us how to relax. I call it purr therapy. They'll lay on your lap and purr, and it's wonderful. So our animals are wonderful models. So I'm going to give you some stress recipes to care for the body, the mind, and the spirit, because you've got to care for the self before you care for others. Put that oxygen mask on self before you put it on someone else. And you've got to really surround yourself with people who bring out the best in you, not the stress in you. So, starting with body care for health, take deep breaths. We usually breathe with only like a third of our lungs, and that's not enough to keep our bodies going. Take some deep breaths, get outside, get some fresh air in those lungs, get the full lung going. And when you take a deep breath, there is the vagus nerve that runs along the diaphragm that stimulates endorphins and causes us to be more relaxed and energized at the same time. It's an interesting duality, a relaxed, peaceful energy. When we're depressed or anxious or angry, what do? We're shutting down. We're heads down. Our arms are crossed. We're closed down. So do a simple exercise where you open your arms, open those arms, look up, move your body. When you open your arms and look up, there have been physiological studies that prove that it shifts the energy to be more uplifted, right? Look up, go out and look at the clouds. Watch the snowfall. Stand in the sunlight. Shake your hands. If you're on the computer all the time, just shake, shake, shake. Move your body. If you get up from the computer or whatever you're doing, 1 minute every hour, and just move, bend, do whatever you can. 1 minute equals a 10-minute workout. If you're too busy to actually go to a gym or to do a yoga class or something like that, just do something to move your body, to shake it off. And get some sunlight. We need vitamin D. Throw away all of the sunscreen for maybe 10 minutes, 10 to 15. If you're out there baking for a long time, yeah, you're going to need it, but you don't need that toxic chemical on your skin. I would encourage you to just go outside and sit in your garden, on your front porch, on your balcony, whatever, and get some sunlight on your skin. 5 to 15 minutes every day. That vitamin D is so good for the immune system. Ergonomic care, those of us who are sitting at the computer a lot, stretch, change positions, take those breath breaks. Be sure you're positioned correctly. I make sure that I am facing the screen. There are people who are experts in ergonomic positioning. You can actually go on DuckDuckGo and look up how to ergonomically set yourself up. I make sure that I have a back support. And here's another thing, watch your texting. When we text, look at what my head does. My head is down like this as I'm texting. What do you think that does for the back of your neck? So you've got to make sure that you're holding your phone up and keeping it away from you. Climb the stairs, go for a walk, find little ways to get your body moving. It doesn't have to be a massive workout, okay? Mini doses of health prevent dis-ease, and that's what we're after. Those little things that we can just incorporate in our day. Sleep is critical for health. And it need to be consistent. So limit those electronics. Do not have them in the bedroom. Keep them out of the bedroom. Keep your bedroom is used from a feng shui perspective. It's really there for two things, and sleep is one of them. Limit your caffeine and your alcohol exposure in order to sleep better. I tend to take pre-bed naps. I fall asleep on the couch and then I have to wake up and go to bed. That's really not ideal, but to me, the pre-bed nap is just a relaxation. And limit your food. You know, if you want to have something before bed, have a cup of hot cocoa or a little cup of yogurt, something that's calming to the stomach, but don't eat anything that has sugar in it because that's going to stimulate you. Here's a little tip. I keep a notepad by my bed with a pencil. And if I have thought, oh my gosh, I've got to call Peter in the morning. Instead of thinking about it all night, I just write Peter. I'll pick up that little notepad and I'll write Peter's name on it and put it down. Nobody else on the planet can read it in the morning, but even I sometimes have a hard time. But at least it's out of my brain and I can tell my brain, okay, got it. We'll deal with it in the morning. Your time is to sleep now. And then I can add whatever the thought was to my agenda for the day. And I also love the little night lights, so that I have one in my bathroom, so I can find my way. If I have to get up in the middle of the night, I can find my way through the house without turning on any light and creating that bright stimulus. I can navigate through my house with key placements of night lights if I need to. And that way I can slowly ease myself back into sleep. Because the better we sleep, the better we feel, and the better and the healthier we are. So there's a lot of different sleep solutions. So make sure you have your aloe plants in your room. Have some plants because you need good oxygen. Essential oils, lavender on the feet is really good for sleep, or under the neck, because it actually will get on the pillow and you'll be able to smell it through the night. There are a lot of different herbal supplements that you can look into. I tend to keep kava handy. The herb's so nice, they named it twice. It's a liquid that I'll put in a little dropper full of water and swill that down. If I'm having a ruminating night or whatever, I will take that. It's basically a plant extract that's a muscle relaxer, and I'll feel myself just relax right away to sleep. Use calming music. Make sure that your music is 432 hertz. That's the Tesla frequency. That is really, really calming. I play it even in my office all day, really low so that nobody can really hear it, but it's the energy. Remember, it's the energy of the music that makes a difference. I teach all my clients self-hypnosis. I use self-hypnosis myself to help myself to sleep. And there's an exercise that's called the magic rock. So I have this beautiful little rock by the side of my bed, and it's to remind me as I drift off to sleep to think of the best thing that happened. And it takes a lot, because oftentimes there's a lot of good things that happen, but you think of the best thing that happened, and then you can just say, thank you, thank you, thank you for the best thing that happened. Your mind is not in the shoulda, coulda, woulda mode. Your mind then goes into, job well done mode and drifts off to sleep. So I teach everyone self-hypnosis, and the self-hypnosis, 15 minutes in self-hypnosis is equal to 1 hour of restful sleep, because it's allowing yourself to completely relax. Talking more about the body, 70% of adults are overweight. 1/3 of children are overweight. We are what we eat, and most of us are killing ourselves. So we have to be aware of what we're putting into this vehicle. We wouldn't put crap in our gas tank. We need to make sure that we're making healthy choices. We're making conscious choices. Redecide, do I want an apple? Do I want a cookie? So making those simple little choices are good for our body. We're reprogramming ourselves for health. Choose health, creating new patterns, and get assistance. I know people who are health coaches. I help people with weight issues as well. And there are other people who are nutrition coaches, fabulous people with great plans. Reach for assistance if you really struggle. Change your beliefs, change your habits, change your life, and stop. Stop the fear porn. Turn off the media. Stop the smoking, the excess alcohol, all these things. This just causes more stress, more patterns for dis-ease. Making health a priority in your life is critical. Drink more alkalized water. Dr. Robert Young is another fabulous, fabulous person that I have studied over the years, and he has done research on taking cancer cells, mold cells, viruses, and other types of toxic substances and put them in an acid-based petri dish or an alkalized petri dish. Everything in the acid-based petri dish proliferates, it grows. All those things grow on acid, which is the standard American diet. All of those things that he put in the alkalized petri dish died. So what we want to do in this body of water that we live in, we want to keep it more pH neutral. So even though some of us still like our chocolate and we still have the occasional cookie, I use alkalized water and have for years, because it's at least one thing that I can do. And I have I have products that I use, and I'm happy to share them with you if you're interested. I have distributors that I get my alkalized water from, and it is amazing how it helps me to stay healthy in spite of the stuff going on around us. And we need to drink 1/2 of our body weight in ounces of water daily. So make those healthy choices, limit sugar, caffeine, gluten, dairy, all of those things. And what you want to do is start craving the fruits, the veggies, the proteins, because it also increases your energy, improves your health. And here's the problem that we're having. So many people are isolated, and we need a hug. Hugs are so critical. And I'm big on hugging on heart hugs, which everybody says, you hug backwards. I said, I know. I do a heart hug, heart to heart, which is that left side. I have a video that you can watch about that, and I'll share with you in a minute. So here's a couple of tips about being around the computer, mindful of your posture. Take a break away from the computer, all of the electronics. I've been learning, even though I do all of my sessions online, I now schedule extra time between the sessions so that I can take a break, so that I can go outside, drink some water, stretch, put my feet, get out there, ground my feet in the earth. I also have around me and wear constantly things like amber. Amber absolutely will absorb, as will selenite, labradorite. I keep these around to help keep my energy clear. And then the other things are using essential oils. I have peppermint, rosemary right here that I sniff. If I'm getting a little drowsy or whatever, it perks me up. I don't even have to put it on anything. It's like smelling salts. Boom, I'm okay. I'm chipper now. I'm good. And then you can't see them, but I have a lot of plants in my office for oxygen and good energy. We've got to stay healthy, focused, and energized. We work with the tools that we have. Now let's get into some mind care for health, that's my world. Some of us are more left-brained, analytical thinkers. Some of us are creative, right-brained, expressive types. And what we're doing here is we want to stay balanced. It's great to be analytical, but we have to then also get into that creative. We've got to keep our mind balanced. And though if we're creative, expressive type, we still need to do a little bit of learning of that little analytical piece. So if we can keep both sides of our brain engaged, it helps with the mind balance. And there's a mind-body connection. I am not going to be able to show this to you on this video, but I created a video demonstration that I invite you to go to my YouTube channel, bit.ly Lois Hermann YouTube, and there are exercises. You can see a bunch of different exercises, but what this is using kinesiology, and the body will know truth from fiction. Basically, if you ask somebody to state their name and they say their name, my name is Lois, my energy is strong. If I were to say my name is Peter, my energy would tank. The body knows it. If I think a happy, happy thought, my energy stays strong. If I think of something that makes me mad, sad, or angry, my energy tanks. So for those of you who are reading and listening to what's going on in our world today, and if it's really affecting you, it will tank your energy. So what you need to do is switch to find something that gives you inspiration, something that picks you up. The other thing is the energy shifts. I was talking about heart hugs. And when people hug the traditional way, they're crossing meridians and their energy is weakened. When we hug heart to heart, which a child will naturally do, which is the way Native American cultures hug, we are in alignment. It feels kind of weird because that's not what we've been trained to do. But when we hug heart to heart, we're in alignment and our energy stays strong. So, tips and techniques to change that mind-body connection, because thoughts affect things like our bodies. Choose positive thoughts. Focus on this present moment. When we start ruminating over the past, that's when people get depressed. When we start worrying about the future, that's when people get anxious. Stay focused on what can I do right now? What can I appreciate right now? Learn to have patience with others, but also patience with self. A lot of people are harder on themselves than they are on others. And when your energy is relaxed, when you've got balanced energy and you're more relaxed, you're more efficient. When the energy is low, you're more scattered. And the mind can only think of one thing at a time. So try thinking about, I'm just going to choose Christmas. Try thinking about Christmas and Easter at the same time. You can't. You can think about the Easter bunny under the Christmas tree or Santa at Easter, but your mind has to focus on one thing at a time. Control your thoughts to think about what's right here, what's right now. This presentation with you is all that matters. Focusing on delivering from my heart to your heart. That's what matters right now. Because there's a subconscious awareness. That conscious thought is only a very, very small percentage. Our subconscious memories, which includes in utero memory, which includes genetic memory. All those memories are the drivers beneath the surface. So as we go in and we look at, I don't want to go into a whole lot about neuroplasticity, but neuroplasticity is a pattern that we do over and over and over again. It is a pattern that has been adopted from mother, who maybe got it from her mother. It's a pattern. Have you heard the story about a young girl going to her mom saying, "Why do you always cut the end off a roast, Mom?" And she says, "I don't know. My mom always did. Why don't you go ask your grandma?" So the young girl goes and asks the grandma, "Grandma, why do you cut the end off the roast?" And grandma says, "I don't know why your mother does, but mine just didn't fit in the pan." So mother saw her mom cut the end off. So then she knew, oh, well, you have to always cut the end off the roast before you cook it, without asking the questions. So ask the questions. Why am I doing this pattern? What do I need to do to change and to blaze a new pathway through my mind? It's like going down a well-worn path in the woods. even though it doesn't take you where you want to go. Blazing a new path takes some effort. We've got to push through the brambles, push through the old patterns, but it will take you where you want to go. Being mindful, being aware, healing the subconscious past is critical to creating a conscious future. So mindfulness. A lot of people have a hard time saying no. So my favorite phrase to them is not now, push pause. I'll get back to you. So many people, especially caregivers, they overcommit and then they get mad at themselves because they've taken on too much. Just say not now, I'll get back to you. I'll let you know later. So the issue will either get resolved or you'll be able to fit it in at your time. Say yes to yourself. Take that precious moment for yourself to have a tub bath, to do what you need to be present now. Do something that gives you joy. Get creative. Learn something new. Keep that mind going and choose a happy thought. Because thinking of something you enjoy creates feelings of joy. Do that right now. Think of something that gives you joy, some memory, and notice how you feel with that uplifted memory. It can be as simple as working in your garden or playing with your pet. It doesn't have to be anything fancy. Think of something that gives you joy. It will shift your energy. It will shift the vibrational frequency to that level of joy. So here's a stress buster for you. Close your eyes for just a moment. You know how when we get stressed, we'll often have our hand on our head or we'll be rubbing our neck. I want you to do both. I want you to put one hand on your forehead and put the other hand on the base of your neck. And I want you to put your tongue on the roof of your mouth. What that does is it reminds you that you're probably clenching your jaw, and relax your jaw. And take in a deep breath and breathe gently for maybe 30 seconds. Doesn't take long. And this resets that mind-body connection. Allows you to breathe and to be in the moment, to calm and nurture self. Take a gentle breath in. See how that feels. Simple, simple. Doesn't have to be anything fancy. Here's another exercise for you. Cross one wrist over the other and the same ankle over the other. And breathe. Again, just breathe. Feeling present, this moment, now. Feel the energy flowing through your body. Taking in gentle breaths for 30 to 60 seconds. Doesn't need to be long. You can do this at your desk. And taking a deep breath, and now touch your fingers together. Touch your fingers together. Kind of feel the tingle in your fingers. What this is doing is you're basically touching acupressure points. So by pressing your wrists together, that's acupressure points. Your ankles have acupressure points. It's resetting the meridians and then touching the fingers. There's little acupressure points in our fingers. Just causes chill. How's that feel? Good? Awesome. Then there's also stress shifting affirmations. The more stressed others become, the calmer I feel. The more relaxed I am, the more efficient I am. I am calm and relaxed at any moment. I focus on joy and contentment. I allow stress to dissolve and fade away. Tell yourself, make little stickies, put them on your mirror, put them on your computer, put them somewhere where you see them, just to remind yourself, little triggers. I'm in control. I have several CDs, MP3s you can download that I created for my clients, Stressful to Successful. They're all basically mindfulness training programs, and you can listen to them. I designed them to where you can listen to them as you drift off to sleep at night, because there's beautiful flute music playing and you can just let yourself go. There are many other tools that are out there. There's high frequency music that you can listen to. And a lot of people have wonderful things that you can download and listen to. Use the tools that are out there, because we also need to take care of this emotional self. self-hypnosis, meditation, whatever to slow down. Play. If you've got children or grandchildren, or volunteer somewhere. Play with kittens, your dogs. Volunteer. I know several people who volunteer at shelters. Laugh. Laughter is the best medicine. Watch something funny and uplifting. Move your body. Sing, swim, dance, play the guitar, do something. Do something you love, be it art, be it drawing, be it writing. Escape into nature. And the other thing that's really critical right now is talking with a friend, having people to reach out to so that you don't feel so isolated, having someone that you can have a heart-to-heart conversation with, because relaxing is so important to our health, our energy, and our success. So the spiritual care for health. I have an Inspiring Hope radio show that I do every Sunday. One of the things that the guides said to me is there are more good people out there than bad. It's the voices of the negative that are so loud. You need to make the voice of the good heard. So I started a radio show over a year ago, and I feature wonderful, inspiring people. Peter's going to be on my show, and that's going to be exciting. I'm thrilled. So, and then I record them all, and I have them all on my website. They're also on my YouTube channel, but I also have them on the loisherman.com website so that you can go and listen to them, from recipes from other people on how they keep themselves stressed, at peace for themselves and our world. So when we get contaminated and unbalanced by negative energy, this is an auric image of somebody who's unbalanced. So his aura is all pushed to one side. There's something occupying the space on this one side, and the other space is red. Red typically means anger, and when you're dealing with energy. So this is an unbalanced energy. And then when we do Reiki or healing energy, or we can do hypnosis, other different types of energy clearing, that's one of the areas that this is my expertise, is energy clearing via hypnosis. We basically reset the energy. We're clearing away the energies that are draining people and helping them to reset their energy, their frequency, their vibrational energy to one that is balanced. So keeping ourselves in alignment is key. We're clearing the negative energies. We're boosting the positive energy. And we're balancing the chakras. And again, these are things that I teach that because practice makes permanent. We've got to do these things every day. I call it spiritual hygiene. You wouldn't start your day without brushing your teeth, would you? So I do my spiritual bubble, my spiritual hygiene every morning before I open my eyes, glowing that inner light, just pushing out anything negative. I imagine a waterfall, a beautiful, magical waterfall of light filling me, very similar to what I did at the beginning with the sacred space. Imagine the protective bubble around me, that silver sheen and the violet flame. And if I find that I've walked into a toxic experience or environment, I stop for a moment and push it out again. Glow that inner light. Ask for the guides to remove anything negative. Make sure that your bubble is a nice, thick-walled, malleable, viscous bubble, because a thick-walled, malleable bubble can't chip. You don't want like a really rigid bubble. I kind of imagine it like a spacesuit that goes with you. And then put that silver sheen to deflect the negative, transmute the negative to positive, because you never want to send negative energy to anyone. Even if someone sends negative to you, you want to be the one that transmutes it and sends it back as positive. And then put the violet flame to keep yourself protected. Because what happens as healers, when we are working together on our clients, with our clients or patients, we are creating a big energy. That energy, what are called energy feeders, can see, sense, and feel, and they will come to, and they will drain, they will feed off of the energy. Some of them are lost souls. Most of them are just energy feeders. It doesn't matter who they are, but they will see you because you're shining so brightly. So this is where Saint Germain's violet flame, it puts you like, I consider it like the invisibility cloak, to where you can work with your clients and you can beam as brightly as you want in your sacred space, keeping yourself undetected. And that will keep your energy strong. Ask for spiritual assistance, ask, believe, and receive. You've got to clear yourself and your space prior to your sessions. And if you've had a particularly challenging client, clear it after the session. Asking, as I said before, protection, healing, and empowerment. And stay connected. When I'm working with a challenging client, I'll just ask Archangel Michael, Jesus, whomever, who I am connected with, please help me help this person. Give me the words to say. And by golly, things will come out of my mouth and I'm thinking, wow, where'd that come from? It's kind of fun, but they're ever there to help us as we help others. And at the end of the day, expressing that gratitude. Gratitude is so important throughout the day. And I'm going to share with you a little gratitude exercise at the end of the night too. Rinse and repeat daily. Ask for prayers from Archangel Michael. This is the one that I said earlier, asking for protection, healing, and empowerment across all those levels. Do different things like find labyrinths. There's a wonderful labyrinth in a local city near where I live that people go to. Just do things, find ways to get yourself connected. Because we've got to keep that spiritual maintenance to stay grounded and healthy. Ask the angels, archangels, masters, whomever you're connected with. Arrange for regular clearings, because I work clearing negative energies. I sometimes pick them up, just like sometimes people pick up a cold. It's not something scary. It's just, okay, I noticed that I'm grumpy. I must have picked something up. Many times I can clear it myself, but I have a team of people where we clear each other. Sometimes we can't see the obvious, so it takes another person to help. Creating your sacred space and keeping your family cleared. Sometimes if you're in a good space, but there's negative energy around, sometimes it will affect your spouse or your children. So you want to make sure to clear yourself and your children and your family and partners, because negative energy is very toxic. It's very, very real. And what we have to do, especially in this day and age, there's a lot of toxic energy out there. We need to learn how to protect ourselves from it and help others to protect themselves. So those of us who are spiritually aware, we're empaths. We know, we sense, we feel. And most of us are some type of an energy worker. We need to learn and remember how to clear the negative energy and maintain our positive energy. And it's done through connecting with our guides. Many times people want to know what their mission is. Right now, I can tell you, your mission is to help heal this planet, to do whatever you are called to do, because each one of us has a different piece, a different thread in the fabric of humanity. So do what you're called in your heart, what you're empowered to do. Do whatever you can't not do, and you will feel like you're on purpose. Asking for assistance. Ask a friend for some Reiki, or a friend just to talk with. Do some hypnosis, spiritual guides, massage therapy. See Peter for some wonderful body work, chiropractic care. There's so many different things. And groups. Join groups. There's amazing groups of people who are joining together via Zoom, but at least you feel supported so that you don't feel so isolated and alone. Find people with common themes. I have an Inspiring Hope community that meets on the first and third Thursdays. I have a noon meeting and a 7 o'clock. And this is about spiritual empowerment. It's a study group talking about the messages that come through these books that are just so profound, and that I promised I would get their message out there. These are not my messages, but they have become my way of life over time. But I'm sharing these messages that is for hope for humanity, because our mission is to inspire hope. You can find, please join our Chronicles of Hope, the messages, our Facebook page. I just started a group as well where other people can post. And then the chroniclesofhope.net community is where you can join our community. I welcome you to join. The first month is free. After that, it's $10 a month. Goodness, it's just a way of allowing a commitment of sorts, so that we make sure that the people in the group are there from the heart for the highest intent, coming from a place of non-judgment. So the end result of these exercises that the guides gave us, they gave us a guideline for living. So in book 2, the god Ray from Atlantis came through and said, be positive. You must maintain positive thought, energy, integrity. Jesus came through and said, be loving. You must come from a place of love for yourself and for fellow man. The goddess Aurora came through, be accepting, getting rid of the hate, the accepting of one another. The archangel Samael came through and said, be understanding. Universal energy, that was an interesting experience, came through and said, be present, really feel for one another, feel for and with one another. Mother Gaia came through and she said, be with nature. Let me help you. The archangels, be connected. We're all one. We're all one energy together. And the Unquietus said, be grateful. Let peace begin with me. An attitude of gratitude is probably the most important that we can use. Be grateful for 10 things every morning. Think of the best thing that happened each night. And look for the good in every person. And smile. It's contagious and infectious. And that's part of the problem with these masks. Take the mask off for a moment and smile. People need to see that, to feel that connection. There's a wonderful book called The Magic by Rhonda Byrne. It's a follow-on to the book called The Secret. The Secret was all about mentally thinking positive. But The Magic is a 28-day workbook based on this quote from the Bible. Whomever has what they have will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have, even what they have will be taken from them. She inserted the word gratitude, and it works beautifully. Whoever has gratitude will be given more, and they will have an abundance. Whoever does not have gratitude, even what they have will be taken from them. Because gratitude has an energy, it's a vibrational frequency. So if you can find just something to be grateful for, I love my pillow, thank you for my pillow. I mean, it doesn't have to be anything big, grand, or grandiose, just simple things. It shifts the energy to the positive. Be that change that you wish to see in the world. Be the change. Change is good. Change your choice to keep the body healthy. Change your thoughts to keep the mind happy. Change our attitude to one of gratitude. Change our patterns to help others change the world. So in review, we went through self-care for health. Sleep well. Use whatever you can to sleep. Move your body. Eat healthy. Choose mindfulness. Enjoy some heart-centered fun. Practice your daily spiritual hygiene. Embrace an attitude of gratitude and smile, smile, feel that energy. Take care of your baby, of your body, as if it's your baby, because it is. There is only one hope for humanity. That's you. We need you to take care of you. Your clients need you. Your patients need you. Your family needs you. You need to take care of you. I offer hypnosis, coaching, and clearing. Everything is online and remote. I do Reiki. I do have a place that I do Reiki as well. I do presentations. I have a bunch of different presentations, trainings, and gatherings. I love to teach, love, love, love to teach. Please tune into the Inspiring Hope radio show. It's for you. It's designed to help give you another tool. You can find more at chroniclesofhope.net, and my other website is loisherman.com. So thank you. Life is precious and time passes quickly. Dance, dance, dance like no one is watching. And that's my husband and I doing Argentine tango on our wedding day. And it's always a treasure to think of. So thank you. I hope that you learned something in this whole episode of options. You'll find one or two things that resonate with you. Take them, do them. Thank you so much. And I hope that we have a time for questions at some point. God bless.
Thank you so much, Lois. That was fantastic and very relevant. And I know there's many pearls of wisdom there for the audience. So thank you so much for being with us.
Oh, welcome. I hope this is what your audience is looking for, that they get some pearls to take with them, you know, whatever they need. There's so much there. And if we don't use it, or if we don't try, as you've said, if we don't try to use it, then it's an opportunity lost. Take what resonates with you and practice. Practice makes permanent. Thank you, Peter.
Excellent advice for us all.
Yes.
So Lois, again, thank you. I'd also like to thank the audience for being part of our journey. And until next time, be well.